Hey everybody, Josh from Marginal Gains here with you today to talk about my top 5 low-cost marginal gains. And for the purpose of this video, I'm going to go with low cost as being under $100. I started at 50. There's a lot of good stuff under 50, but I can get some even better stuff in if I can sneak it up just a little bit more. I think you'll see what I mean when we get to those items. So, what's a marginal gain? For our new listeners, marginal gain is something that is going to help you go faster on the same amount of power. We talked in the last video, we'll link it below, the top 5 freebies, right? The free things you can do to go faster on the same effort today without spending a dollar. Here, we're going to talk about the 5 things you can do under $100. So, let's start with number 5. Number 5, and this one is really a crazy one. The first time I wind tunneled this, I was with Steve Smith at Castelli, working with one of their teams, and he showed me this, and I just could not believe it. I've seen it over and over again. My friends at Aero Coach have essentially identically matched the numbers that we've done, and I've again matched it with other teams, and that is socks. Can you believe that socks can save you something on the order of like 3 to 6 watts? I couldn't believe it. We tested it over and over. It's absolutely true. Aerodynamic socks, I never thought I'd say those words, are in fact a thing, and they do in fact work. We will put links here down below again to 2 of my favorites, and those are, from my story, the Castelli Aero Sock and the Aero Coach Aero Sock. How do they work? It's like the dimples of the golf ball. It's a very controlled texture on the tall part of the sock that just helps the airflow going around the lower leg close up, kind of close the void behind the leg. I mean, really simple technology, shockingly effective. So there you go, number 5, socks. Who'd have thought? Number 4. If socks were surprising, number 4 is bar tape and or grips on your mountain bike. Now, we've talked in previous episodes about hysteresis. Hysteresis being the different behavior of something when it's squished to when it returns, or when you have an out and a back. You've got 2 different performances. This is where the rolling resistance comes from. This is also where a lot of our impedance losses can come from in the rider to bicycle interface. And as we learned using our Pebax foam handlebar tape technology, that you can actually find both comfort and speed by going to a more efficient low hysteresis bar tape. Of course, here I am going to recommend my own product, the SILCA Nastro. It's the only really ultra high efficiency foam tape in the market. It's pretty awesome stuff. Tour Magazine Germany, who has laboratory testing, tested it to be the most cushioned, most efficient bar tape ever in this regard. The second, if you're not going to buy what we've got, I would recommend a foamed silicone. The straight silicone stuff is really heavy and not that comfortable, but the silicone foam is awesome. I like the stuff from ESI for my mountain bike grips. So there you go. How much more efficient is this? How much faster? Honestly, it's hard to say. Theoretically, you're probably talking a watt or so, but really this one is about the comfort. I mean, this is hand numbness goes away, tingling, all of that stuff, and theoretically, you are able to go a little faster because your impedance losses are a little bit lower. So there you go. Number 4, bar tape and grips. Number 3. Now, for number 3, I'm sort of merging two product areas together because they are so related, and that is chain and waxing or lubricating the chain. We've talked about this a ton before. I mean, this is huge. My chain recommendation for all my pro teams, for you, it's what I use myself. This guy, we've talked about him many times before, Shimano Dura-Ace 11-speed chain. I don't know what the heck they've done to this thing in their manufacturing to make it so fast, but this is off the shelf. half a watt to a watt faster than any other chain we've ever tested, off the shelf. You wax it, it gets even better. They seem to be using a really well controlled surface finish. Their chrome plating is phenomenal, and there's just a lot of intricate detail in the link plates and the shaping of the parts of this chain that have to play a role. I have asked them what they did and if they would explain it to me, promising I wouldn't tell anybody, and they said no. So there you go. What I do know is it's the fastest. I don't exactly know why. There's my guesses. Along with this, let's talk about lubricant. There are a number of data sets out there you can look at, so you don't have to take my word for it. Vela News has done a number of tests with Jason Smith of Friction Facts. There's some other websites out there that have done some testing, Zero Friction Cycling in Australia. Definitely check that one out. He's got amazing stuff on wear and longevity of the chain. But the chain lubricant can be, it can be like 5 to 10 watts. Some of the lubes out there sold for bicycle chains are so bad, that they can be costing you an additional, say, 5 watts over the factory chain. And then if you really want to get into it, you can save probably 3 to 4 watts over the factory chain settings with something like our own SILCA Super Secret Chain Lube or Secret Wax Blend. And if you don't want to buy it from me, you say, Josh, you're just trying to sell me your stuff. For years, I've loved the stuff made by these guys, Molten Speed Wax. In my testing, not quite as fast as what we're doing, but it's an awesome product that you can check out. And of course, if you really just want a drip lube, you say, Josh, I don't want to put the time into cleaning the chain. I don't care about the longevity of the chain. Just give me something that works. You definitely check out NFS from Josh Simons and his company, Nix Friction. It is without a doubt the best drip lube on the market. Probably the best drip lube ever made. Link below. So check him out. There you go. Number 3, chain and chain lubricant. Number 2, and this is really the item that made me go from the $50 threshold to the $100 threshold, and that is tires. Okay, my good friend Robert Chung said, and has made this beautiful graph for me, where he said weight weenies should really be rolling resistance weenies. And you have to agree with him when you see these numbers. In this graph here, what we've got is the delta between a GP4000 and a GP5000 tire, right? And you see that this slight difference in rolling resistance is marked, or is plotted against the equivalent efficiency found through weight loss at different gradients, percent grades here at the bottom. And what you see is true. The difference between those two tires is the equivalent of 500 grams on a 10% climb. 500 grams on a 10% climb. Think about that. And look at, as you get to this side of the graph, look at that. On a flat road, it's darn near worth an infinite amount of weight. Not literally. Don't call me on that. I know I'll see that in the comments. But yeah, it's worth a ton of weight on lower gradients, right? So if you're a weight weenie, awesome. Be a rolling resistance weenie. Look at the tire efficiencies. There's some great websites out there. BicycleRollingResistance.com is probably the best with the most up-to-date stuff. And you can look at it, you can compare to our graph here. But yeah, there you go. Be a rolling resistance weenie. Number 2. And number 1, I could have put these two together, but this is without a doubt the biggest bang for the buck product in the world that you can put on a bicycle: latex inner tubes. Now, I know you're saying, Josh, we're going to tubeless, and I love tubeless. Tubeless is awesome, but most tubeless tires are not as efficient as a clincher tire with a latex tube yet. It's coming. The notable exceptions out there: the Schwalbe TT tubeless tire that they've just launched, the Vittoria Corsa Speed TLR tire that's been out for a couple years, and we've had EF time trialing on that thing for 2 seasons with phenomenal results, and the new Continental GP5000 tubeless is roughly equal to the GP5000 with latex tube. So if you're into tubeless, you really need to be running those 3 tires if you want to go super fast. If not, pick one of the fastest clincher tires on the market and put latex tubes in there. What's it worth? It's worth 3 to 5 watts per tire. That's a ton. That's a ton. It's roughly equivalent to the GP4000 to GP5000 difference that we just talked about in the Magical Robert Chung graph here. That's about what you're saving, sometimes more so actually, when you go from a butyl tube to a latex tube. For the weight weenies out there, they also tend to be a few grams lighter than butyl tubes. They're a little more puncture resistance. The only downside is you have to pump them up more frequently, but you know, there are companies out there that happen to make inflation devices that are quite pleasurable and enjoyable to use and own. I'm trying to think of who that is actually. Anyway, I'll think of that soon, and I'll let you know when I remember. Anyway, there you go. Number 1, latex tubes. Bang for the buck. With most of this stuff, you're probably talking, you know, $10 to $20 a watt. With latex tubes, you're probably talking something like $4 to $5 a watt. So super effective from a cost to wattage savings perspective. And yeah, there you go. That's it. Huge thanks to our sponsors, and thanks. Give us a like down here, please. Please subscribe to us. Ask us questions below. Recommend us to your friends, because we're awesome, and you're awesome, and we all could stand to be a bit smarter. And if you ask me questions that I don't know the answer to, I will research them and come back, and we all get smarter together. How cool is that? There you have it. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next time.